I decided to buy a bunch of slingshots online, from the cheapest to the most expensive ones. We'll compare their accuracy, compactness, convenience and most importantly, power. Let's start with the cheapest slingshot, which will cost us $0.01. After making a small cut, we need to make a loop on both ends of the band. Now, thread 2 fingers through those holes and our low-budget slingshot is ready. Still, we need to make a projectile. A small piece of notebook paper will work perfectly. Roll it tightly into a little tube, then fold it in half and done. Let's see whether a paper projectile can piece the sheet of paper it's made from. Wow, what power! The sheet is trashed! This slingshot immediately takes first place in terms of price and compactness. Next, I ordered this $1 slingshot, and you might have noticed that it has no rubber band on it. That's because the band is already part of the projectile in the form of this funny emoji with rubber arms. We fasten its arms in the slingshot, pull it back, and fire. And it works! On firing, its arms somehow pop out of the mounts, and the rubber poop emoji flies off into the air. Whee! Later, I bought a slingshot for $1.50, and as you can see, it's equipped with a sturdier band. In that case, we'll need a more powerful, heavier projectile made from an electrical tape. Time to test it on a cardboard box. But first, let's put on some safety goggles just in case. A decent result for such a simple and cheap slingshot. This package contains one of my favorite slingshots in this video. By the way, the Chinese sellers also included these projectiles that look like chocolate candies, but they're actually made from some kind of a cement or baked clay. They're very hard but brittle. The set also includes these small metal balls. The advantage of this slingshot is that it's foldable, and you can extend the 2 levers that the band attaches to with just 2 easy movements. The kit includes 3 rubber bands with a leather pouch for the projectiles. I still have no idea how to attach them to the frame. Maybe this weird little gadget, whose purpose I don't understand, has something to do with it. But I decided to take the simple route, wrapping the end of the band around the lever and fixing it with a zip tie on the opposite side. Alongside it, we'll test this classic wooden $4 slingshot with as many as 4 rubber tubes. Let's try shooting through this thick cardboard. The band pulls back pretty hard, but that allows the ball to pierce the target easily. The rubber strip on the second slingshot is way less tough, but due to the fact that it stretches so far, it still transfers a lot of energy to the projectile. Next, we've got this old slingshot with a folding lever that serves as a wrist brace. While shooting a usual slingshot, you not only have to grip it tightly, but also brace your thumbs hard against it. As for this one, there's no need to do that, because the lever takes all the load. I paid $41 more, and the Chinese sent me a pink bag full of various parts, so that I could build a cool slingshot myself. All we need is this square wooden rod that should fit freely into the main body of the slingshot and slide inside it. That's apparently the Chinese-made trigger mechanism that will release the projectile. To install it, we need a drill bit to make several holes at the end of the rod. Insert the trigger and fasten the mechanism with self-taping screws. I was curious how it works, so I set a projectile in the pouch and pulled the band back. The projectile got fixed in place, but as soon as I pressed the trigger, the catches opened, releasing the band and the stone. For convenience, the Chinese included a handle from a plastic toy gun that you can screw onto the board to get something like a real rifle. Stretching 10 bands and clocking the slingshot back takes a lot of effort. Let's try firing. And it works! I decided to run a quick preliminary power test on a tin can with a thick wall. Shooting with a wooden slingshot produced only a tiny dent. I'll circle the previous hits with a marker so I don't confuse them with the new ones. Oh, and I nearly forgot that we also have a triple band slingshot. Let's try it out. The projectile ricochets slightly, which may be the reason why the dent ended up about the same small size. Time to test the slingshot with the green bands. It made a pretty deep dent, and the ceramic ball itself has shattered into pieces. Now we take this powerful slingshot with lots of rubber tubes. Take a look at this tiny mark. I tried again and it still seems like something went wrong. Apparently, we'll need to run a proper test with a ballistic gel. And now, the moment for the most powerful slingshot we could find. It's too heavy, so the Chinese packed it in 2 boxes. Just look at how many different bands they included in the kit. And this appears to be a slingshot frame. It's completely metal and resembles some kind of an alien weapon. The assembly turned out to be pretty straightforward. We had to install the trigger guard cover and attach the steep grip to it. The long box contained 2 long sturdy chrome-plated rods to which we needed to attach the band holder. The slingshot body had 4 guides with lots of little ball bearings for the rods to slide on. That's exactly where we insert them. Thinner red bands were threaded inside the yellow bands, probably to increase their tension. Done! The slingshot looks very cool and powerful. I can't wait to try it out. The first shot has badly deformed the can. The second shot almost ripped through it. We can see a tear in the metal. That's when I realized I needed to remove the double band and attach the stronger version that came in the kit. As I suspected, the slingshot easily punched through the can's wall and left a serious dent on the opposite side. I took several more shots to confirm the results, and it became clear that the slingshot is very powerful. The package from the Chinese sellers also included a mount for a laser sight and a laser sight itself. We need to install the mount on a special rail, insert the laser into it and secure it with bolts. All that's left is to zero the laser. To test all the slingshots for accuracy, I took several identical sheets of thick paper and drew a circle about 10 cm in diameter on each. Then I drove 2 sharp wooden stakes into the ground and secured a wooden frame between them with plastic zip ties. I fixed the paper with small nails and everything was ready. A thick towel behind the paper was supposed to absorb the impact energy and keep the projectile from flying further, so I could reuse them. We shot from a distance of 4 meters. First up was the 1 cent slingshot. After 3 shots with it, it didn't even hit the paper. Next, I tried the slingshot with the rubber poop projectile and it didn't even have enough power to reach the target, let alone hitting it. With the next slingshot, I finally had some hope of hitting the paper, and to my surprise, it shot quite accurately. We got 2 solid hits out of the 5 shots. For each slingshot, we attach a fresh target. It was the wooden slingshot's turn. Honestly, the stiffer the bands on the slingshot, the harder it is to aim. Still, I managed to get about 2.5 hits with this one. Let's proceed with my favorite slingshot, the one with the green rubber band. Now you'll see why it's my favorite. I put all 5 projectiles exactly on target. Next, we tested the slingshot with the wrist brace. I expected it to do well, but it only scored 2 hits inside the circle. The triple band slingshot scored 3 hits, which is also pretty good. Now let's test the big wooden rifle, assuming its long barrel and a reduced strain on my hands were meant to help put all 5 shots neatly inside the circle. But something went wrong, and only 2 projectiles landed exactly on the target. The last one was our most likely contender for the title of the most accurate slingshot. But first, we needed to zero the laser. I aimed the laser at the center of the circle and took my shot. The projectile landed about 6 cm above the center. Without moving the slingshot, I removed the caps from the adjustment screws and used an Allen key to shift the laser beam from the center to the point where the shot actually hit. Then I fired again and repeated the procedure. Shooting with this rifle, I decided to maximize safety and put on a full protective mask that shielded not only my eyes but my whole face. The first shot landed almost dead center. Unfortunately, the towel had no chance to stop the projectile. The towel tore and the metal ball continued to move. You won't believe it, but the second shot hit the same hole as the first. All the following shots struck very close to each other and the bullseye, which proved the laser sight really worked well in this case. The most accurate way to test and compare slingshot power is to shoot at a ballistic gel. All we need to make it is hot water and lots of packets of gelatin, which we pour into a container. Break up all the lumps with a blender. Then pour the liquid into a mold that we've gathered beforehand with avocado oil. The next morning the gelatin had set. Carefully remove it from the mold and get a clear golden block whose density closely resembles the soft tissues of living creatures, say a zombie. Let's start with the pink slingshot and see what damage it can do to the gel. Not bad, the wire projectile penetrated the gelatin by almost 1 centimeter. Next, the wooden slingshot. It drove the projectile about 5 centimeters deep. Notice the nice trace that shows the projectile's trajectory. Now the slingshot with the wrist brace. It embedded the projectile roughly 7 centimeters inside. The triple band slingshot should also post a good result. I wasn't wrong, the projectile almost reached the middle of the gelatin block. Now the green slingshot. I tried to pull the band as far as possible. And just look at what happened. It's many times more powerful than the previous slingshots. It's time to check for sure whether the slingshot with 10 rubber tubes is really weaker than the simple slingshot. What a disgrace! It's almost as powerful as the $2 slingshot. I don't understand how that's even possible. By the way, the metal balls somehow react with the gelatin and got coated with a black residue. Now it's time to test our monster on ballistic gel and see how much stronger it is compared to the other slingshots. Check this out, the projectile literally flies clean through the gelatin block as if it's not even there. If you play the footage back frame by frame in slow motion, you can see how violently the projectile rips the gel as it passes through. I'm curious to see whether the 2 most powerful slingshots in our arsenal can neutralize a zombie's skull. His name is Pedro, and he's ready to sacrifice himself for the sake of science. The small projectile from the green slingshot handles the job without a problem. Next, we step up the caliber and take the stronger slingshot. That shot leaves a much larger entry and exit holes. The laser sight works great and even allows us to treat the zombie's dental caries. But what happens if we load the alien-looking gun with a stone much larger and heavier than the metal BB? The stone slams in at enormous speed and punches through the zombie dummy, proving that slingshots can protect you during a zombie apocalypse, especially if the zombies are low on calcium. After running these tests, we can conclude that a high price of a slingshot doesn't always guarantee high power and accuracy, and the most formidable and coolest weapon turned out to be the most expensive and highest quality alien-looking slingshot, which, thanks to its laser sight, can hit targets with high precision even at long range. As you can see, I managed to hit a can of Coke from about 15 meter distance without any problem.